I'm bullish on metals, on gold. They are holding up as the global safe haven play. People who buy gold, they buy and they hold it. People who buy silver, they buy and hold silver as well, but it's definitely a more volatile. It is traded more than gold. I think we are in the start of a new 10-year super cycle in precious metals. I don't know if they're going to take off and rally just yet. We might, the bear market hit the stock market first, which will pull precious metals down. But eventually, I think we're going to see them kick into high gear, and then we're going to have a multi-year rally to the upside. And we're going to have that opportunity that us gold bugs have been waiting for forever, which is to get into those miners that take off hundreds and thousands of percent.
Gold has seen significant safe haven appeal in the last 2 years, as investors have looked to protect themselves from growing uncertainty created by two major wars. Russia's war with Ukraine has now moved into its third year, and Israel's war in Gaza continues to create chaos in the Middle East. Analysts at HSBC expect that geopolitical uncertainty will continue to provide long-term support for the precious metal as they highlight a new element impacting the global economy and financial markets. ChrisVermeulen, a prominent figure in financial analysis, is the founder of the technicaltraders.com. Drawing parallels to historical cycles, ChrisVermeulen suggests a new 10-year supercycle in precious metals is underway. According to Chris's analysis, there is a strong bullish trend in play, with the potential for gold to reach $3,500 per ounce. On the other hand, the yellow metal is expected to sharpen its shine in 2024. In the last 3 weeks of December, investors doubled down bets on the precious metal. The Federal Reserve is expected to unwind its restrictive stance on monetary policy in 2024. The decline in yields, which is expected to have peaked in the current quarter, along with a weaker dollar index, also provided a boost to gold prices. Embarking on a distinctive note, Chris emphasizes significant gains in mining stock while showcasing his optimism for a transformative rally in the precious metals sector. Typically, mining stocks have outperformed the commodity's price in a bull market for gold. With higher gold prices, miners will continue to close M&A deals, engage in exploration activities, and advance toward net zero targets. Employment of low-cost methods of extraction and the adoption of sustainable innovations will help gold companies drive competitiveness in the long term. Furthermore, Chris foresees a substantial rally in gold and silver miners in 2025, marking a new phase for the precious metals sector. Now we present the clips of ChrisVermeulen's insights from his recent interview with SOAR Financially. Before we continue to delve into this discussion, please subscribe to our channel and activate the bell icon for timely updates.
I've got the monthly chart of gold that if we take a look, the chart is super bullish. I mean, we've gone into this giant, whoops, let me just grab a pencil here. We got this giant rally phase that came out of the 2000, this huge move, and then it had a correction. It built a base, a nice rounding base. And then we had the breakout in 2019, and now it's come up into resistance, these highs, and it's really just digesting, consolidating. This is a huge cup and handle pattern that points to like $2,700, $3,500 an ounce for gold going forward. These are multi-year cycles. As you mentioned before, you think we're near like a similar scenario to 2000 tech bubble and potentially the 2000 probably gold bottom. And I agree. I think this is as close as we're going to get to something very similar to that. I think we are in the start of a new, 10-year super cycle in precious metals. I don't know if they're going to take off and rally just yet. We might need the bear market to hit the stock market first, which will pull precious metals down. But eventually, I think we're going to see them kick into high gear. And then we're going to have a multi-year rally to the upside. And we're going to have that opportunity that, us gold bugs have been waiting for forever, which is to get into those miners that take off hundreds and thousands of percent during these phases. I mean, these are life-changing events. You catch one, you're hooked on that space for the rest of your life. The key is knowing when to own them and when to ignore them sometimes for a decade, which, sometimes we have to do after the top in 2011, 2012. So I'm bullish on metals, on gold. They are holding up as the global safe haven play. People who buy gold, they buy and they hold it. People who buy silver, they buy and hold silver as well, but it's definitely a more volatile. It is traded more than gold. And so it has more emotions in it. It's well off the highs, but it's building a launch pad here. It is building a time where it is going to have one of these rocket ship moves it'll blow past gold in terms of percentage performance down the road. But again, I think we need more time to let things mature. And it's the same with the gold miners. If we look at GDX, I mean, they're flagging down. They're really just out of favor. People just don't really want them outside of the gold bug space. Nobody's interested in gold. One of my subscribers was talking about how in the UK, gold miners are all over the news as one of the worst investments. Nobody wants them. Anyways, I think we're seeing gold and silver miners. They're all in bullish formations, but these are multi-year patterns. I still think we have many more months, I think, before the next big rally really starts in this space. But I think late this year or early next year will be the start of something, I think, very big in the space, and it'll become the new shining stars. Everybody's going to probably want back into the miner space, just like right now everybody wants into the AI space, and before everybody wanted in Bitcoin. Everything goes at its own time frame and has its window. The window for precious metals, we are like 10 years later. The longer something takes to build a pattern, the bigger that move will be after that pattern. So we're definitely in this phase for precious metals to take off. And just to touch on your dollar real quick, the Dixie, if we look at the dollar index, it has been trending up. And I do believe we're going to see the dollar continue to push higher. I think we're going to see the stock market eventually sell off. We're going to have a stage 4 bear market, a decline. And the dollar is probably going to skyrocket up to 16, 120, very similar to the 2000 top. And then, of course, once the stock market puts in a bottom, we'll see the dollar fall for a decade, which means commodities are going to want to naturally rally for a decade. And that'll be the full reset, I think, for precious metals to really take off. So I'm really bullish on the precious metal space. It's just, I think there's going to be some pain still before we see that next massive rally.
During the interview, ChrisVermeulen stated the current tech-focused blow-off phase while noting seasonal challenges for precious metals until September. Gold and silver prices are weaker in early U.S. trading Wednesday, as bearish daily outside market forces are working against the precious metals market bulls, a higher U.S. dollar index, and lower crude oil prices. The near-term technical postures for gold and silver remain bearish, inviting some chart-based traders to the sell sides. In a distinctive outlook, Vermeulen signaled the market's potential culmination, referencing the historical sell in May and go away trend. Moving forward, he predicts one final push fueled by factors like Nvidia. Let's get back to the interview.
The fall in gold to 1700, 1600, we need the bear market to hit. So we haven't had that yet. Right now, we're having that, I think, that blow off phase where technology is sucking everybody in. NASDAQ, SP 500 are doing their job, getting headline news. So when we do go into a stage 4, I still believe gold is going to hit 1700, 1600 potentially, maybe not that low, but we'll see. There will be, I think, a multi-$100 pullback in gold when that happens. So we need that to unfold. So the scenario hasn't really changed. We just need the bear market to hit, cleanse the market. It'll be like the last opportunity to buy precious metals and miners before I think they're off to the moon. In terms of, the turning point, when we take a look at the sentiment chart, we usually have the holiday rally, and October is typically a low. It's when we see lots of volatility, we see the market rally, and, that is what unfolded. If we look at the gold seasonality chart, right now, here we are in February, we actually have gold going to be probably under pressure for a couple of months, which means gold might just flounder. Gold miners might struggle a little bit. And really, the gold and silver miners typically are out of favor a little bit until we get into August, September. Then they go into a strong rally. So I think the precious metal space definitely has it cut out, just in terms of typically we're now in a week time to get into the precious metal space. And if the stock market does put a top and start to correct here over the next couple of months, that selling pressure is going to bleed over and also help pull pretty much all assets down with it. So that's kind of the scenario in terms of the big picture. And nothing has really changed other than we do have the major indexes carried up to new highs with the big tech at this point. We're seeing the semiconductors and AI, that wave is still powering and dragging these big indexes up. But the majority of stocks, while they've had a rally this year and some of last year, they are well off their highs and they're struggling. So we need to be aware that this market, I think, is on its last legs. And I think we're coming into this sell in May and go away for the stock market. In fact, if we look at seasonality, Kai, we can see that the market generally tops out somewhere in May, June, maybe July, and then it kind of sells off into the end of the year. And if you were to take this seasonality chart and overlay it with just last year's price action, it is almost identical to what we saw here. So I think we have this one more push. NVIDIA is just enough to get everybody who's not in the markets to jump in and have that FOMO that they're missing out. And that could carry us through into May, a few more months, and then we could see the market, big selling start to step in. So there's a lot of really interesting scenarios coming into play when we look at it from stage analysis, from what the general market is doing if you strip out the tech.
Despite the challenges, Saxo Bank maintains its bullish outlook for gold and silver. The Danish bank sees gold prices pushing to $2,300 an ounce this year. At the same time, Ola Hansen, head of commodity strategy at Saxo Bank, sees the potential for silver to retest its 2001 highs, which are around $30 an ounce. What are your thoughts on the evolving outlook of precious metals, and how do you see major factors influencing these markets in the near future? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to support our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos. See you in the next video.